everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a little tutorial, and by the title and the thumbnail you guys already know that it is about to be a patchwork cardigan. And I wasn't going to really do this video at first because I'm like a week into making this cardigan already, and I've already made a lot of squares and things like that, but I'm like, let me show you guys and take you through how I made mine. And I actually followed somebody else's tutorial, so I'm gonna link her video below, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I'm doing it, and it's kind of like a tutorial, but it's more like what I'm doing. So first off, I wanted to show you guys all the materials that I'm going to be using, and then also I'm going to show you guys the measurements and then the colors that I'm going to be using. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Everything is linked down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. And let's get right into the video. So for this video, you guys will be needing 4 materials. So you guys want a measuring tape to measure the length and the width of the squares. And then you want a little yarn needle, which mine is bent because it fell on the floor and I stepped on it. Surprisingly, I didn't get a hole in my foot. You need some scissors, and then you need a hook. I'm using a, if you can focus, there we go, 5.0 millimeter hook. And the yarns that I'm using call for a 5, most of them call for a 5 millimeter hook. Only one of them calls for a 5.5, but I just like using the same hook just so I can get closer to the same sizes. So yeah, these are the materials I'm going to be using. Next, I want to show you guys the yarns that I will be using. So I'm using 2 different brands. So for the blue yarn, I have the color light blue, simple little cute color, and I am using the Red Heart Super Saver yarn. Red Heart is good. And then also I recently found out about this brand, which is a Joann fabric store brand called Big Twist, and it is 100% acrylic. This is also 100% acrylic yarn. Anyways, but yeah, I got this in the color Sage, and then I also got this yellow yarn from Big Twist in the color Pale Yellow. Now, the problem here, which is not really a huge problem, I thought I was gonna need more yellow yarn, but I probably won't because I still have another roll of this yarn. I just bought some new ones just in case I finish, and the yellow yarn that I have here is from Red Heart Yarns in the color Lemon, I believe, and in this brand it's called Pale Yellow. They are really close, like you can't even tell that it's a different color, so hopefully I won't have to, you know, do that, but I did. And before I even start with the measurements and anything, I want to show you guys my pile so far. I counted and I have 17 of the green ones, I have 11 of the yellow ones, and then for the blue ones I have 10 of them. So now I'm going to tell you guys about the total number of squares that you'll need. So in total, you'll need 51 squares, and the amount that you'll have to make for each color depends on how many colors you choose. So since I chose to do 3 colors, I'm going to need 17 of each square. So let's say if you choose 4 colors, you'll need a different amount, and it kind of changes, you know, depending on how many colors you use. So just keep that in mind and try to make the amounts as equal as possible if that's what you like. So as you can see, it measures to about 15 inches. It's going to be a little less, but that's fine. And also about 15 centimeters. It's less than 15 centimeters in length, but that's also fine, but you just want to get something close to that. So how I got this size is I chained 21, and then I did 15 rows each for each of them. So I'm going to show you guys actually how I start that off, and yeah, let's get started with the actual tutorial part. And yeah, make sure you guys follow my socials and everything like that. Let's get right into it. Okay, since I want to finish all my blue squares next, I'm going to start off with that. So you want to make a little slip knot, just like this. Oop, I'm struggling. I'm looking at the camera, that's why. But anyways, I make my slip knot string, like this part, really short because I'm going to weave that in anyways. So yeah, now you want to chain 21. Okay, now that I've chained 21, I'm going to start off by doing half double crochets all the way to the end of the row, and just like that, into the stitch, yarn over, and then pull through all three. Again, yarn over, put it through the stitch, yarn over again, and pull through all three. So I'm going to do that all the way to the end of the row, and in total you should have 20 half double crochets. Okay, now I'm to the end of the row. I have 20 half double crochets in total. I'm going to drag this string along on the second row. So you just want to put it over the row. And for the first half double crochet for the second row, you just want to make sure when you do the stitches, the string gets trapped inside the stitches, if that makes sense. Oh, and by the way, you guys, if you guys like this setup, let me know. Just on my bed, instead of sitting on the chair. In the past few videos, I've been sitting in my chair. It's just more comfortable in my bed. Also, I was gonna keep this cardigan for myself, but I might also sell it. So if you guys are interested in purchasing it, comment down below. And yeah, I'll probably end up putting it onto my website. And if I actually make it look really nice in the end, I will definitely sell more. And sizes for little kids. I'll try to just think of a pattern or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much, I don't really have nothing else to say. I want to do a Q&A, like a crochet with me Q&A, whatever. And I just need some questions. So if you guys have any questions, like anything that comes to mind, just comment down below so I can use those questions for my next video. Yeah, so that is that. That's that. Anyways, I have the heck, I have other products on my website. I have beanies, headbands. By the way, one of the headbands that I made, I'm wearing it right now. This is the Everly headband. Keeps my ears warm, all that good stuff. I also have leg warmers. I have these cute knee-high socks also on my website. So yeah, check all those out. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to grow that account, and also TikTok. I was starting to grow it a little bit, but then I got lazy. And you know, with TikTok, if you stop being consistent, it's not gonna work. So trying to post on TikTok daily too. I will be posting a TikTok having to do with this project, so make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue making this square. I'm gonna finish all my squares whenever I come back to you guys. It'll probably be like a couple days later, I'm not sure, when I finish the squares, and then I'll show you guys the pattern to lay out the squares in to connect them so that you guys can you know the layout or whatever. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. Hey y'all, so it is the next day. I am done with all my squares. I have a total of 51 squares here, so now it's time to connect them, and I'm gonna put on the screen the layout that you guys want to use if you use 3 colors. So that will be in the next clip, so stay tuned for how I do it. So here's how I'm gonna lay out my back panel. It's pretty simple, so you just want to do the same. Then for the front panel, this is how you want to lay it out. Again, make sure you don't have the same colors next to each other if you know that's something you care about. I just don't do that. So then for the sleeve, this is how you want to lay it out. It is 4 rows and 3 columns, so let's get started. So here I have everything laid out. This is the sleeves. This part is the sleeves. This part is the back panel, and then this part is the front panel. You guys, so I'm going to use this white yarn, which I'm also going to use for the ribbing portion. I'm going to use it to connect all of the squares to its appropriate sections. So this is the sleeves, so I'm just going to connect all of them together, as well as the back panel and then the front panel. Not gonna lie, y'all, this part was super hard. I kept removing it and like redoing it because I was sewing it the wrong way. But the tutorial that I was watching, she linked a video down below that helped me figure out how to do it correctly. So I also linked that down below. So you guys, I'm moving along the back panel pretty nicely. This is all that I have left to sew together. All of this is already together, as you guys can see, and it looks pretty nice so far. So I'll come back when I'm done sewing every single section together, and that's probably gonna be tomorrow. Okay, as you guys can see, I laid out the cardigan pretty much. These are the front panels, this is the back panel, and then this is one of the sleeves that I've already pretty much sewed together. All I need to sew now is this part closed. But I wanted to show you guys real quick how I actually sewed the squares together, because a lot of the tutorials that I watch, especially the one that I was pretty much following, she didn't really show how to connect the squares. She just linked the video, and I watched that video and I did that for the back panel, but I did not like that method and I felt like it took too long. So this method is the quickest for me. So hopefully I can explain this to you guys perfectly. So I'm just going to use this as an example. So as you guys can see, there are 3 columns for the sleeves, as you guys see, and then there's 4 rows. But for the front panel, there's only 2 columns, so it just helps to explain better. You guys will see in a second. So you want to line everything up how you want your colors laid out, and then you want to put everything on top of each other. So your squares will be separate, and you want to lay them on top of each other. You want to have the outside of whatever part you want the squares to be the outside. You want to have that inside. So when you sew the inside seam so that it doesn't, show on the outside. It basically was I sewed all the way down all 6 of these squares. And sorry, my flash went out. And then now we have those 3 rows. And then I sewed down all of these. I sewed down all of those rows. And the way I sewed down it was that I just connect the stitches and I sewed down the stitches. So now when you look at this other sleeve, it makes more sense here that I sewed down the columns, because as you can see, the rows are not connected. So yeah, so that's how I sewed down the columns. But anyways, now I want to show you guys how I connected the rows. So you want to fold each row down. So I already sewed the first and the second row together, so I just folded them down this way, and then I sewed along this seam. Then for the second and the third row, I also folded it. I'm also going to fold it and sew down that row. And then lastly, for the third and the fourth row, I'm going to fold it again and sew down that whole row, or a section of the row. And that's basically how I did it, and that's how it ended up being like a seamless look, if you guys can tell. And hopefully I'm explaining all of this really good for you guys. I'm just now starting with this, like trying to do tutorials or whatever, something like that. So hopefully guys, were able to follow along so far. And if you guys ever need help, just let me know on Instagram, and I will be sure to help you guys because I love helping people. But anyways, oh my goodness, you guys, I cannot speak. I'm gonna just keep that in the video. It's late, please excuse me, but yeah, hopefully you guys get it. Sew down the seams and then sew each row. So yeah, okay you guys, so today's the day where I'm probably gonna finish this whole cardigan, but I wanted to just show y'all kind of how it's looking right now. So everything, all the squares are sewn together now. What I'm gonna do now is start connecting all the different pieces. So the front panel, the way that you want to sew the front panel and the back panel together is you want to sew along the top of it, the very top, and then you want to connect this part and then sew down this part. And you want to leave this open because obviously the ribbing is going on the bottom over here. And then you want to do the same thing, sew along this side, connect this side together, and then sew down this way. And when you're sewing, you want to make sure to turn everything inside out. So the way that I'm going to sew this part down is I'm just going to put the wrong side out like this, and then sew along these seams. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side and sew along these seams. And then I'm going to flip the sleeves inside out and sew along, you know, this side and whatever to connect it. And that's basically what I'm going to do. And as you can see, I'm lining up each stitch and I'm going through the back loop of the stitch that's at the top. This creates the seamless look that I was talking about. So now that I'm done sewing this top part down, next you want to connect the sleeves. So I've already flipped the sleeves inside out, and then the cardigan is also inside out. So you want to make sure everything is inside out. And then you want to sew along these seams. So you want to connect this together, and then you're going to connect these together. Same thing with here. You're going to connect the top flaps together and then the bottom flaps together. And for the rest of the parts that you have to sew, make sure you have about from here down left of the sides of the cardigan to sew down so that, you know, it's still space. So yeah, you just want to have about probably like 4 stitches on this square all the way down and connect these 2 squares on each side. And you don't want to sew down this side. The whole bottom part is going to stay open. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go do. Okay, now that I've connected both sides for the sleeve, I'm just gonna sew down this side and just connect this. Okay, y'all, so excuse how I'm looking right now, but I'm pretty much done. And this is where the cardigan is at. It's like kind of cropped. So I'm like kind of thinking and debating if I should add one more row of squares so that it's like 4 rows instead of just 3. I just want it to be like to here. I don't like the shortness of it, so yeah, I'm just gonna add one more row of the squares. So that means I would have to do a total of whatever. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I can't count right now, but I'm gonna do a few more of those squares to match up with these squares, and then I'm gonna add the ribbing. Okay, so this is the ribbing portion of the video. So this is the ribbing for the wrist part of the cardigan. And what you want to do is you want to chain 10 stitches, and then you want to do half double crochets for as many rows that fit around your wrist. I probably would like to make it smaller just so it doesn't stretch, so keep that in mind. So that's what you want to do for the wrist. And then I did this for the ribbing that goes around the bottom of the cardigan. I did about 140 centimeters, and you can do more depending on how you want the ribbing to look. I want the ribbing to be more like snug at the bottom, so I did 140 centimeters and I chained 11. And then also for the ribbing that goes around the collar line and the front of the front panel part, you want to chain 11 again and work as many rows. Hey you guys, so this is the final product. I love it so much. I just been wearing it and taking pictures and stuff like that. Look at it, so cute. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure you guys follow me on all my social medias down below. And I probably will be selling this cardigan, so make sure you guys follow me on Instagram because I'm the most active on there, and I will be posting prices, and when I add it to my website, you guys will know from there. So yeah, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.